Where were you? What, you just stand here the whole time?
Barry, this is an inevitable intersection. You have to stop.
Barry!
Ezra was so fantastic in portraying these three characters. This is the conclusion of a plot, and it's big, and it's bombastic, and it's very emotional. I wanted Dark Flash to be a monster, not only psychologically, but also visually. There was a lot of work put into it from the costume department in combination with the stunts, with makeup, hair, and the actors, obviously. Flash has a bunch of powers, one of them being phasing. Phasing is like the vibration of the molecules, and that allows the Flash to go through walls or glass or metal or whatever. But at the end, he phases into a piece of shrapnel that is flying in the air, and now that piece of shrapnel is almost like a sword. So he weaponizes himself by phasing into objects. Not only he has two shards, but he's like his whole body is full of shards. He became like this killing machine. And that's the beginning of the monster that he starts to become, and that will later turn out to be the Dark Flash.
That's awesome, though. That pull looked really great.
Yeah. It's great when you make something like that and the actor really takes it on and really uses it and runs with it, really. The Dark Flash costume was completely insane. In our world, this is a bit of a throwback, really.
It starts off as a 1992 Batman Returns batsuit, which young Barry customizes and turns into his version of a Flash suit, which we dubbed the Bat Flash suit. That suit then has to spend 40 years running through time tunnels, running through vortexes, battlefields, so that what you get to see at the end is essentially something that looks like it's made from molten lava, something that pretty much looked like a monster.
You are.
Yes, I am. You.
It's really about how do we differentiate between original Barry, young Barry, and the Dark Flash. Dark Flash, of course, is huge prosthetics, and that was a process. Young Flash, he's supposed to be 18 or 19, so he has to look young, so he's a little more painted. And original Barry is older, so we show a little more of the beard, etc. The difference really is Ezra's performance.
I saw something that I wasn't expecting. He really turned into a mid-50s-year-old pariah who has experienced things that nobody else has. You're actually looking at a performance of an aging man, and it blew my mind when I saw it.
I've lived more than you can dream.
The ending was one of the biggest rehearsals I was a part of, to just figure out what Ezra really needed to do in there, knowing that he's playing 3 different parts at that time.
We had like 3 cameras, and so we were shooting over multiple lines. So there was sort of like multiple pieces and then coming back to it and like, no, we need to be over his left shoulder for this bit, or we should be the right shoulder there, and we shot here and there. It all became quite big of a scene and a difficult one to shoot.
There would have been a very different way of making this movie with an older technology like motion control, but it's very limiting in the sense of working with actors in movement or touching each other.
Action!
Barry, stop!
There are many ways of creating doubling on a film, over the shoulder, body doubles, face replacement. We used a new technology called volume capture. We used a series of 140 so cameras in a booth. The actor would stand in that booth, and then the cameras would capture every part of the way their body moved.
Volume capture in itself is you can capture an actor's performance, a real-time, 24 frames a second. What you have is real-time 3D data. Every frame is a 3D object, and it is photographic, so the lighting is sort of baked in, but you can manipulate it lighting-wise afterwards.
Barry, stop!
The lighting for the volume all comes from a witness camera that Ed wears on a Scorpion camera rig on his back. And that kind of comes up his back and goes over his head and gives us exactly what the room is doing or what the set is doing at the location from Ed's sort of point of view. And that's important because that can be projected back on the walls of the volume, and that becomes the lighting for Ezra's head, face, body that is then captured, and that's what we work with. In my mind, that's a little bit of a holy grail for having actors perform and being able to put them in unique environments.
We did this. We're destroying the fabric of everything.
I'll play myself, and then they will capture the volume of another person similar to me in volume, and then I'll switch, and I'll do the other Barry Allen and then the other one.
We knew that there would be shots where Ezra's fairly static, but he's doing a full body performance, and we want to keep that. We know there's other shots where there's a lot of physical interaction between the two of them, or between Ed and something else in the set, where we'd have to keep most of Ed's body in costume and basically replace his head.
When the breakdown came through, it was very much like you are going to be the acting double. You're going to be acting opposite Ezra, and then they're going to CG you out and put Ezra's face on top. To be totally honest, I was like, oh wow, that sounds incredible. Like, how are they going to do that? And then when we started getting through the filming of the takes, I sort of understood it. I was like, from the body downwards is going to be me in this movie, which is insane.
Actually, like looking back, knowing everything I know now, it was very risky. But we have Ezra playing all sides of this character in complete freedom. And it's magic. And I hope audiences don't even question how it was done, because it's so natural that they don't have to think about it. The fact that Andy and DJ decided to wholeheartedly bet on this brand new technology was a very brave thing to do. Technically, it was very challenging, and it worked.
The Flash.